Hi everyone, welcome back to Butterfly Ivy, the Nature Witch. I'm doing another entry into my astrology series for the planets. I know I said that I was going to do the rising next after the moon, but I decided to save that for a later date for another series on the houses. Because after this series with the planets and everything, the next thing I'm going to cover is the signs themselves, and then move on to the houses because I went a little bit out of order. But the moon, symbol for the moon, of course, is the crescent moon. The day that the moon rules is Monday, so that's a really good day to do spells or rituals as related to emotions, problem solving, and obtaining your deepest personal needs. The sign that the moon rules is Cancer, a water sign. And the influences of the moon in the natal chart this is your emotional nature. It's also represents your deepest personal needs and what you need to feel secure emotionally, as well as how we respond to problems. A quick note, when someone is intoxicated, that's when this placement becomes more obvious. When you're dealing with someone who's intoxicated, you're dealing with their moon sign rather than their sun sign. So the moon is exalted in Taurus, the sign of Taurus. And the reason it's exalted in Taurus is because this placement generally has calm, steady, even, and mellow moods. It doesn't really fluctuate to extremes. And also, this placement, when problems arise, they tackle them through a steady and determined fashion until the problems are resolved. Now, the sign that the moon is in detriment in is in Capricorn. And the reason it's in detriment in Capricorn is because Capricorn is the sign of limitation, restriction, and responsibility. There's this stereotype that Capricorn moons don't have any emotions and that they're cold, but that's not true. They're just as emotional as the rest of us, but because of the restrictive nature of Capricorn, they try to bottle it up and not really show it or acknowledge it, try to repress it, which of course leads to them imploding emotionally. Finally, the moon is in fall in the sign of Scorpio, another water sign. And the reason it's in fall in Scorpio is because this placement tends to lead to extremely intense emotions and very intense mood swings as well. It may even lead to emotional explosions. This placement also has a tendency towards some pretty negative things in terms of emotions, such as repression of emotional trauma, emotional blockages. They might become emotionally obsessed about their emotions or the emotions of others or anything like that. Also, this placement leads to a lot of emotional jealousies. So this was another really short entry into the video because, fun fact, astrologically speaking, the moon doesn't go into retrograde, even though it does go into what's called apparent retrograde. But in terms of astrology, it doesn't go into retrograde, so you'll never see a placement with that. Also, I believe I mentioned in the Mercury video, I didn't mention it for the Sun because it's pretty easy to find out how often or when the Sun changes signs. But just like when I mentioned with Mercury how the placement can only be, it's either the same sign as the Sun sign or the sign before or after that Sun sign. But with the Moon, there can really be any potential number of combinations because the moon changes signs about every 2.5 days. So that's all I have on this video. Next will be Venus, so stay tuned for that. And always remember, if you take care of nature, nature will take care of you.